Hello, hi. I'm very happy that today I had an occasion to be here with you, to spend this day while watching and hearing these fascinating stories about people who, as I think, are doing what they love to do. But let's think about these people who haven't arrived here or TED conference, about people who are not meeting with the other, about people who are just standing in their houses. They are not going out, don't doing anything. About the people without hope. Why is it so situation? Sky is the limit, everything is possible. It's true, but it's very easy to say it, to feel it, if you look in a mirror, and in this mirror you can see someone healthy, strong, handsome, young. But if you see there someone disabled, the situation is completely different. Very long ago, I thought that every man receives from the fate exactly that what he should have in his life. I thought that not bad, because there is not bad experiences, but I thought that hard experiences in life, there are some kind of the punishment that we have if we are bad people. This is mistake, but because of this mistake, I was unable to understand my life, because I am so lucky guy, but I lost very many things in my life. When I was 8, I lost my house, which passed away in the flames. And then I was very young, but I thought that we can't lose anything more, because what else we can lose if we don't have anything, even a house? That wasn't true, because the most important thing in life is just a life. Our life, life of our friends, of our family, or of people who we love. And sadly, I had to understand it on my next hard experience 1 year later, when I lost my younger brother, who drowned in a lake. I wanted to help him, but I was just 9 and I couldn't swim. No one could help him, and after this day, I thought that this have to be just a bad dream, only bad dream. But I haven't woke up since today. A few years later, when I was 13, I had an accident, electrical shock accident. I had in my body 15,000 volt. After this accident, I spent 3 months in a hospital. I lost arm and leg. And after these all experiences, I was still thinking, how is the rule of the world? Why I am suffering so much? Why do I deserve it, or why? Since now I don't know any answer on this question, but I know that it's not so important. I know that even with these all experiences, I can tell you that I am very lucky guy, because I have so much luck to great people who I am meeting. I have fantastic parents who always gave me a power to live. And all in all, in this time of these 3 months in hospital, I was still losing my hope. I was thinking about my future, or I was unable to see this future in any colors. I thought that everything will be awful. I thought that I felt, I was 13 and I didn't start my life in full of this meaning of this world. And I thought that I have to stop. I won't do anything more, because what else can I do without arm and leg? How can I find great studies and work like I want without arm and leg? How I can travel, how I can realize my dreams, how I can find a woman who will look at me. I thought that everything will be completely awful. But after this accident, my father told me the difference between disability and crippless. Disability is a state of body. Someone who is blind, someone who is on wheelchair, someone without hand, he's disabled, and it is so. It has to be so. But crippless is something like state of mind. You could have complete of arms and legs. You could have everything inside in the correct position, and without dreams, without something inside your head, you are completely disabled. You know, losing arm and leg, it's not a problem. Losing a head, this is a disability. And after accident, I understood that I am disabled and I have to just like it. But I can't agree with my crippleness. I won't be a cripple. I want to live normally. After that, I met very many people who live in a normal way, who showed me that the accident doesn't have to be the end of life. Sometimes it's just a start. I remember a woman who I met in Krakow, in Poland. I met a woman without both hands. When I spotted her, I was thinking how she could find the sense of life, how she could live, how she could be happy, how she could smile. Why? Why she should smile? Because of what? Without hands? Does she need always someone who is helping her with every simple thing? I was thinking in this way. But I saw a happy woman who was talking about her dreams, about her passions, and we came to the restaurant. We've been talking about crazy things, and when the kellner came with food, I was completely stressed because I didn't know what I have to do. You know, we have a food, but she don't have hands. What should I do? Maybe I should feed her. For me, it's not a problem. Yeah, that could be quite romantic, but I felt very strange. But she was so open-minded that I know that when she will she will need my help, she will just ask. But she didn't ask. She didn't need my help. Sitting in this table, she put off her boots. I won't show that, and she catched in the food. She catched the spoon and what is the name? Widelec, and what? Sorry. And in this way, she just started to eat. For me, that was fantastic. I know that it's not normal and it's not elegant to see, to look at, you know, with open. But that was, for me, that was phenomenal. In this day, I changed my style of looking at the life. But for her, that was just a normal day. One of 20 few years of 20 few days, one of days of her long life. But for other people, that was something completely fantastic, completely great. You know, after accident, I had to learn how to live, how to do normal things, completely normal things like slaying the bread, like making something, making a tea, was for me completely impossible. At the beginning, I didn't have a prosthesis. Now I have cool leg prosthesis. Sometimes it's impossible to see that something is wrong, but this is really great prosthesis. After 8 years of for the accident, I could do almost everything. But after the accident, you know, learning how to live, how to use one leg, one hand, that was not so easy. But that was only the element. That was quite easy. But the most difficult was to accept myself, to say that I am okay. I have 2 younger sisters, and very often before school I saw them near the mirror, and they were saying, "Oh, Mom, my nose is so big. I am so fatal." And I have a question for every one of you, but maybe especially to a woman. Have you ever had a morning when you woke up, stand near the mirror, looked and thought, "Oh my God, I'm so imperfect"? Yes. Sometimes yes. And imagine what you could feel if you are looking on this mirror and you are not thinking about the hair, about the nose, but in this mirror you can see the man without head and without hand and leg. This is really the problem. But I knew that this is only the beginning. I knew that if I want to live, I can do almost everything. If this woman without hands could live normally, I can do it also. As I told you, I am a very lucky guy. I met very many fantastic people, and without these people, I couldn't do crazy things like this, all what you can see on these photographs. After accident, I met, not by coincidence, because I don't believe in coincidences, but I met a famous Polish explorer, Marek Kamiński. It's a man who was many times on North Pole, South Pole, on different deserts, many taps, completely insane man. And when I was in a hospital, my mother, my parents were thinking what to do to give me a hope that I can do normal things, that I can do completely normally. And they decided to invite Marek Kamiński to me, to the hospital. Marek, of course, agreed, but we haven't an occasion to meet because I had very many operations. But after that, a few months later, we came to the office of Marek Kamiński, and I didn't know anything. But in this time, while these few months, Marek was thinking how to help me. And he with his friends, they are a little bit crazy. And after maybe half an hour of talking, Marek asked me, do I want to go with him to the North Pole? I like beer, but I wasn't drinking in the age of 13, but I felt like that was completely crazy. But when I understood that it's a serious proposition, I was thinking about that, thinking about possibilities and the barriers. And it's not so easy, because I thought, as I told you, if every simple things in my life was a problem, if preparing a tea is a problem, what should I do on the North Pole? It's completely crazy. It's not a place for me. Maybe it's a mistake of different addresses. It's different Jacek Mela from Malbork. But that wasn't a mistake. And I thought that, at the beginning, I thought that it is completely impossible. But later, I was thinking, but really, why? Why not to try? I think that every one of us should use every occasion to do something great in his life, because great occasions, if we will let them pass away, they won't any time come back. So I thought that, in fact, I don't have anything to lose. If we can't do it, I will have a feeling that, okay, we didn't manage it, but I just tried. I didn't give up, because after this accident, I learned that I can't give up. If I want to live normally, I have to fight. And from this moment of our meeting to this moment from earlier photos, to expedition to the North Pole, it took us 1.5 years. Not 1.5 years waiting, but 1.5 years trainings, preparations, and what was the most difficult for me, meetings with other people. And that was so difficult because very many people told us that this idea is crazy, it is completely stupid. That told us, maybe it was a little bit stupid, a little bit crazy, but this is the life. This is the life. They told us that disabled man should be happy that he's alive after accident and not to do crazy things like traveling to the North Pole or places like that. And at the beginning, I was still thinking about this opinion. I was curious, maybe it is true, maybe truly it is impossible. But later I thought that because of these people, because of that, in our society we have so many these people who don't believe in their self, who don't believe in the power of other people. We have to do it. We have to show everyone that I'm not worse. That it's not the amount of arms and legs decides about our strength, our power. Our power is inside here. We can have 3 or 4 hands and be more disabled than someone without legs but with wings, if we only want. And with this opinion, after this 1.5 years of trainings, we managed it. And after that, I met very many people who needed this hope, who needed just hope to do normal things, because we are trying to do crazy things like different expeditions to the South Pole, to the Kilimanjaro, Elbrus, El Capitan, not to show that I can do it. Yeah, I am so cool because I've been there and there and there. Because I'm not an explorer. I think that every expedition gives something inside, gives something ourselves. We are doing great things to show that the most important is the first step, just to go outside the house, because there are very many people who are just scared. After these very many fantastic experiences, I decided to manage to create my own foundation to help other people, because I was helped. I found very many people who helped me, but I know that there are, in our society, in your society, there are a lot of people who don't have this luck, who can't say that they are very lucky, who haven't met Marek Kamiński or different fantastic people. And because of them, we are trying to help them to do crazy things. I remember when once we've been organizing a small trip with blind people, a small climbing trip. And I always had a fear of heights. And when I saw my friend Szymon, who was completely blind, who was something about 4 or 5 meters above the earth, I just started yelling, "Szymon, you are so high, aren't you scared that you know you are 5 meters high?" And he told me, "Jacek, stay cool. I'm blind. For me, it's not a different." So he always told me that blind people have better situation because they just don't see the barriers. Everything is only a matter of perspective. If you want to see the bad things in life, you can see them, of course, because they are part of our life, but good things also. As says an old Lithuanian adverb, every paddle, even the smallest one, reflects the sky. And it depends on us, what we want to see. And I wish every one of you the day full of paddles. And I think that the best paddles are these with plants of gasoline, because they have not only the sky, but they also, you can see the rainbow inside. Then it's nothing better than trying to see the colors in your life. And I wish you to always have the head on the good place. And then sky is the limit. Thank you.